Hi, I'm Jason, and on behalf of Upstart Epoxy, I'm here to answer one simple question today. And that question always comes up on Instagram and Facebook. When is the deep pour resin coming? Well, guess what? Right now. So let's go over today real quick. So I did a little prep work beforehand. I built the mold, cut and slabbed this beautiful piece of walnut that I've been waiting to use. And Upstart let me know. They're like, hey, don't use it. We got something on the way. We've got our 2-part resin, 2-to-1 ratio. We've got our nice little mold we put together, acrylic sides, so people can see all the magic, the super secret magic juice doing its thing. So we're gonna drop this piece of walnut in here, and this is gonna be a single exposed edge river piece. I'm gonna bring it up here real quick. All right, so I got a nice little view window right here. Look at that. Everybody at home see it? Yeah, there we go. And so now we just have to figure out, do we make it clear? Do we make it opaque? Do we make it metallic? Those pigments that are also coming soon. I might have some of those laying around. You never know. So we're gonna figure that out. And when we come back, we're gonna start our favorite part. You're right, mixing. Welcome back. Now that we got everything set up for this pour, I want to kind of point out everything. What we have is we have our mold, an acrylic wall, we have our walnut, we have our super secret magic juice, we've got our cleanup supplies, we've got our torch, we've got our alcohol. We mixed up a special color just for this pour. It's going to be definitely interesting. We're looking at like a pearlescent cinnamon to go with the walnut and a couple other things. What we have here is we have our call blocks. They are for holding down the wood so it doesn't float up in the resin. Got a weight to hold it down. Got our measuring devices and our mixing devices. We are not using the little stir sticks for this pour. This is a lot of resin. Now, to calculate the resin usage for projects like this, we installed a deep pour calculator on the website. And so what you do is take 12 points, equidistant along the length. Then you measure the empty volume at those points. You take those 12 points, you take those 12 measurements, go to the website, plug them in with your length of your project and the depth of your project, and it will generate your epoxy usage. No special math or anything like that. Just it tells you how much to use, which is helpful for a lot of people. They want to get to the fun stuff. So, and we have already done that. And I wrote my results down right here. We're going to be using 4.5 liters or right at 1.2 gallons. So we're doing a 1.5 liter pour from this vessel and a 3 liter pour from this vessel. We are going to take our call blocks, put them here. We're going to take our handy dandy little weight that we have laying around and put it right here. And this is just to hold the project down while the epoxy cures. All right, something that's a little bit different from the super gloss coating is that the deep pour resin is a 2-to-1 ratio by volume. We are not doing weight. 3 liter vessel, we're going to do 2 parts A, 1 part B, which is 2 liters and 1 liter. And then the 1.5, we're going to do 1 liter and 0.5 liters. Easy enough. This is where you get to use the fun mixers. So we're going to start off so I can get a good lineup. All right, the very first pour of Upstart Epoxy's deep pour resin. Now you'll notice that this resin is a lot thinner, and this is to get in all the little nooks and crannies. It's going to help your air bubbles escape, and this has a much longer open and working time. So we've got 2 liters. Now this is actually going to react the same way as the super gloss coating. It's going to start off clear, and as you mix it, it's going to become cloudy. And then it's going to become clear again. And that is your indicator that it's time to add your colorant. So we're going to go to our other batch. Now with the deep pour resin, you can take plenty of time to make sure this is mixed properly. Always mix thoroughly before I add my colorants and my pigmentation so that I know that it's completely mixed. Start slow. No need to introduce too much air into it. Just slow down. Again, this is kind of like scraping your walls. Beautiful. Nice and clear, nice and thin. And then we repeat with the smaller vessel. So now that we're mixed, we are going to start adding pearlescent cinnamon that we came up with just for this pour. And we're going for a really, really deep, vibrant pour on this. So we're going to add a nice amount of pigment. We want no translucency. We want nice swirls, nice coloration. Now that we got everything mixed up, everything colored properly, now comes the part that everyone's been waiting for. The first deep pour using Upstart Epoxy's new deep pour line. We've got our up close and personal camera right here. I've got a little void right here that we're going to fill as well. Go ahead and fill it. Bring it up to level. It's going to diminish because it actually goes all the way through the piece. You can see how easily the bubbles are releasing. They're coming up through the mixture. It's not taking minutes, it's taking seconds. And that's what this thinner mixture is designed to do. Release as much oxygen as possible from the mixture. That way, there's no bubbles in your final product. And over time, the resin will seep into all the pores, all the cavities. I've got an open void here. I've got actually cracks and splits here that the resin is slowly getting into. That's going to seal it up nice again. And the great thing about the deep pour resin is its long working time. Now, walnut is a very greedy wood. It's gonna take this epoxy and suck it into all of its fibers and pores, and the level over time is actually gonna drop. So you come back in a couple hours, see how far your levels drop, and take the extra that you have and fill it back up, bringing your level all the way back up. And by the time you're done, the grip that the epoxy is gonna have on the wood, especially as it impregnates the wood, so you can actually see a little bit of capillary action around the edges as these tiny little air bubbles form. That's the air getting pushed out of the wood as the resin comes in. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to let it sit overnight, and we are going to come back in the morning and see just how much the levels drop and how much we have to add. Stay tuned. And we're back. We've let this sit overnight and let the epoxy start to go through its chemical reaction and to cure. And we're starting to get some good figure from the pigment in the resin as it's starting to cure. All of the voids are filled, all the cracks are filled, and luckily we have some left over. As the level drops, we can pour it in and level it out. And so for the next couple of days, we're going to watch it, make sure that it sets and cures properly. We won't be adding any more resin after the 24, possibly 36-hour mark. But at that point, you should start to feel, if you take a little stirrer stick and kind of indent on a surface that you know is going to get cleaned up, you know, we're still kind of jelly. So this is going to take a while. And that's actually going to be our second video. The second video is going to be us demolding this piece, planing it smooth, edging it, and then finishing it to be one. It's going to simulate what happens in a larger project like a river pour or a table or a bench or a desk, where you actually have to bring everything even and smooth and then finish it. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We got to play around with the new Upstart Epoxy deep pour resin. And in our next video, we're going to do a little bit more magic. We're going to demold this project, plane it smooth, sand it, wet sand it, polish it, and finish it all in one video so everyone can see just how beautifully this stuff works. We hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed getting to use the Upstart Epoxy deep pour resin that's coming out. And hopefully this video will be released just in time. That's it for this video. Stay tuned, because in the next video, we're going to demold this project, plane it smooth, sand it, wet sand it, polish it, and finish it just in time for the deep pour resin to be released on the website. And then everyone gets to mess around with it. Look forward to it.